Ladies and gentlemen, check this out. We're about to surf the internet, and we're going to be talking about the homeless community. So, welcome, mad people. Not mad meaning mad, but mad meaning motivated and driven. So, first thing I'm going to be talking about is how do, some people, how they get out and how they thrive and make it in the homeless community. So here in Oakland, California, for example, there's this guy, which is a fairy tale story because, as you guys can see, he's walking with his swag, right? This gentleman right here, his name is, what can I say, Mr. Derek Sue. He's a Oakland native, and he, used to work for United States Defense, and he lost all his money. Agency, whatever. He's a good story. It's a story itself. He lost millions of dollars, and all of a sudden now he's thriving. He's doing good. So as you guys can see, he was able to put a community together because he's not a druggie or anything like that. He's actually a pretty smart guy, a good citizen. So he put the thing together. He made his tent very livable, comfortable. They put a bathroom together, they put, kitchen together, so they were thriving. So they were able to be sanctioned, and now for 2022, he's going to be running for mayor of Oakland, California, ladies and gentlemen. So look him up, Derek Sue. He's another story itself. He's a success story. But yeah, let's talk about something else as well, at different levels of homelessness and benefits in California. For example, in California, there's a lot of benefits for low income or you're homeless or whatever. For example, they give you a card. They called EBT. It used to be called food stamps, but now it's in a form of debit card, so anybody can apply for that. Food is abundance. There's also medical insurance. Everybody is by law, you should have medical insurance here in California, and if you don't have it, California will give it to you as long as you fit within that range. Like if you're like, I believe, $60,000 a year or whatever, you'll get insurance paid by California. They give you needles for the drugs, because they say they want them to have some kind of dignity and quit passing the needles around. So every day they're giving out fresh needles to the homeless that needs them or uses them. And also alcohol and cigarettes as well. I mean, there's a program for that. And a lot of other things. They also they got places where you can shoot drugs. You shoot your drugs, use your drugs, and they even give you prescription drugs if necessary. Like people that wants to somehow like weed off, get off like certain drugs. Like this one homeless I was talking to, he said that he was being given like free methadone and stuff like that, so just kind of balance him out so he could function throughout the day. But there's a lot of people that's really fighting to survive, and there's a lot of people that's thriving. Food is abundant in California, and I'm gonna tell you how. Like for example, restaurants. A lot of these people that's in San Francisco, these restaurants, a lot of leftovers, good food. They're not just gonna throw it away. I mean, a lot of this, bus boys, waiters, whatever, they'll package it up, put in the garbage, because or if you talk to them, you can pick up some of their food at the end of the day and bring it back to your camp or whatever. Like some of these pizza places, they got a lot of leftover pizzas. They'll package it up and they'll give it to like maybe a charity or a certain somebody, and then he can bring it back to his camp, and they can enjoy it, So not only restaurants, there's churches. Churches be, fundraising for homeless, non-profits, 501c3, of course, and private philanthropists. There's just simply a lot of good people in this world that's like to give back regardless of the situation. California is rich in resources. That's why nationwide, everybody is coming to California because of a lot of the rules and laws that pass, that even in California now, if you have drugs on you, it's not even a crime anymore. People are doing drugs on the street, and they're really not arresting anybody there. It's pretty crazy. But nowadays, because of these lawyers, it's a human right. They can't just kick you out, because if they kick you out of certain areas like beside the freeways, they gotta go through the court system, or else there's a lawyer that represents all this homeless, and it becomes a class action lawsuit. And believe it or not, California gets sued all the time, but by these homeless people. So now it's like they have encampments, this and that. You could be put in certain areas where they can't kick you out. You can park your RVs, like as you guys can see in these videos. There's cars, there's RVs, you can park it there, and you can live there, and they even got bathrooms there for you, and they're not gonna kick you out, they're not gonna bother you, so you could be happily homeless until you take yourself to the next level. Or if you're happy the way it is, living like that, then that's what it is. That's California. California encampments, tents, cars, vans, RVs. That's why van life is so big right now, because van life, some people don't want to stick around the encampments. They want to be free, so they want to be stealth. As you can Google van life, and you can see a lot of these vans are like growing, and is what it is. Instead of them paying $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 a month on rent, they just choose to just cruise America and live that life. You know, be an adventurer. A lot of these stuff, as you guys can see here, this has become a dump site, they say, but not that they dump garbage there. A lot of the contractors that's also homeless as well, they just dump their stuff there, and you know, the other homeless people can use fresh wood and whatnot, and build a permanent home, or for long term at least, you know, 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. It is what it is. But majority of the homeless on the streets of San Francisco, as you guys can see, is because they have drugs and mental problems. You know, not everyone, but a lot of them that you see, because obviously the educated homeless, or the smart homeless, or like the normal homeless that doesn't have a drug problem, doesn't have a mental problem, they're thriving, and you can't see them. They just blend in with the world, you know, because as you know, addiction is very, very bad. And here in California, if you're an addict and you're doing drugs, you're not what they call it's a disease. You're sick, you know. So, you know, it's hard to explain, but there's just so much benefits for the homeless here in California. Drugs, alcohol, gambling addiction, and so on. It's very hard, but hey, rehabilitation centers are everywhere. Right now there's showers everywhere, the bathrooms in public places, they're everywhere now, in every corner, because if these people cannot, you know, they can't just go to the restaurants or whatever, bars, or people's houses to use the bathroom, and if there's no bathrooms on the street, guess what? They're just gonna poop right there in front of your house, which is exactly what happened. So it got so bad that they even have a poop applicant app, you know. So if you look at a poop stats online, and you'll see that every block in San Francisco has been pooped on. So you'll see a lot of this public bathrooms, porta potties everywhere now. But even then, a lot of this drugged out people cannot even make it there, and so they just poop on the street. So, but you know, California is trying to cater to them, and that's what's creating all this mess. And you know, even in example right here in Hunters Point in San Francisco, or everywhere else actually, you'll see a bunch of RVs, a bunch of vans, cars, people living in it, tents, because like I said, California is rich in resources, and you know, we cater to the homeless. So regardless, you know, you have your right. But there's a lot of smart people that, or you know, they're not sick, like I said, mentally, and they choose to live in their RV and travel and work and go to RV, or they'll park at their work, because why are they gonna pay $3,000, $4,000, $5,000? It's like, you know, they work so hard, and then they come home and, you know, they have no money for food. They're just basically working to pay for rent, and they figured, like, you know what, I'm just gonna stay in my RV or my van or whatever, or try to get a public housing, and at least I could pocket all my money and, you know, help, you know, whatever, their loved ones, their family, and they could travel, they could party, they could eat good food, they could whatever, go on vacations, because a lot of Americans here are working just to pay mortgage and pay rent because it's just so high. It truly is. You know, and some of these benefits to get to Section 8 is condos, or you know, or this private properties, or Walmart. They have the right that RVs can park there, and the cops or the authorities of California will not mess with you, you know. So California Gold Coast caters to the homeless, caters to everybody from all over the world. They travel here and say, you know what, California is gold, you know. Let's go there and let's thrive. I mean, you know, whether they're, you know, into drugs, or whether they just want to thrive, or people crossing the borders, whatever it may be, they come here because they get benefits with food, they get benefits with medical. And right now, this small tiny house communities are popping all over the world. I mean, all over California, all over nationwide. But here, they, you know, they look at you, they look at your social security or whatnot. Some don't, because a lot of the charities, they don't care whether you're, you know, an immigrant, American citizen, or, you know, somebody just made it here somehow, you know. And these homes are, you know, available to those that is not into drugs, because obviously there's securities and you can't drink, you can't do drugs in there. But if you don't do none of that stuff, hey, you got yourself a little tiny home until they get you in Section 8, till the government can get you in a real apartment or real house, you know. But for now, as a start, they have all these tiny homes, a lot of these other, you know, living facilities that's available to the homeless. It's California is really a home to a lot of homeless, because, like I said, real estate market is up so high, rent is up so high, and that's what creating all this. And like I said earlier, so you guys can see here, there's porta potties everywhere. Every corner practically in downtown is got porta potty, because they don't want the homeless pooping on the street. But you know, it helps, but there's pooping in the street, and you know, human waste is still bad. And RVs are flocking all over here, and some call it a one big party, you know, because all of a sudden they don't have to pay the rent and nobody's messing with them, and they're parking on the street. And it's just an alternative way of living nowadays. It's a new normal until we figure it out. I don't know how, but it's what it is. So if you're looking for, if you're, you know, in a tough situation, hey, just go online. It's available. Just go out there and do your thing and thrive. Don't give up in life, you know. So thank you. Subscribe. Stay mad, motivated, and driven. My name is Ricky Lagumbay. Peace out.